The problem probably isn't these three of the basic, the first 20. We worked on these today. They're not that hard. 2/3 times 5/4 gives you 10/12. Then you just have to reduce it. I like to reduce it by going 2 times 5 and 2 times 6, therefore 5/6. Now you can reduce any way you want, but you should have got 5/6. Raise your hand if you had 5/6. Okay, good. Now again, these aren't probably the problem, but I'm going to give you some that I think will give you some problems. That is a different form of an equation than you're used to. What I want to know is what's the slope and what's the y-intercept on this one. Ew. And hint, it's not 7. Some of you are going to be like, it's the last number. No, it's not. I'll teach you how to do it in a second. But for right now, give your best guess. Next question. What's a point that's on that equation? What is a point that is on that equation? There's multiple answers that would work. The last question, number 6, can you factor this? Those are a little tougher ones. I'm going to pause for a minute while you give those a try. Okay. Now for the big reveal. Does anybody right now think they have all three? All right. That should tell you that these are pretty hard. But just to clarify, all three of these are going to be on, not this exact question, but things like this are on your next test. So pay attention, learn them, because you got to know how to do this. The slope is just right here. That is the slope. In this form of the equation, that's the slope. And so the slope is 4. If you put it as, I thought slopes were rise over run, Mr. Server, we could put it over 1, and then you got 4 rise and 1 run. So 4 over 1 or just 4. I personally would just say 4. All right, how do you know that? Because this is a form of an equation where that is the slope and that is a point. That is called point slope. That's called point slope. You're used to slope intercept, aren't you? Where I give you something like this, 7x minus 8, and you go, that's the slope, that's the y-intercept. Do you remember that one? We use that one a lot, but you didn't use this one very much. That's the slope, and this red one, that's a point. But you got to be careful. Most people are going to think the point is negative 3 comma 7. It is not. I want you to not put negative 3 comma 7 because that's not right. Put what you think it is. It has to do with the 7 and the 3. And compare with the kid next to you. What do you think the point is, actually? Negative 7, comma 3. Why? Because the y goes right next to the other y. The 3, that's the y value. And it's the opposite of what you would think. It's not a negative 3, it's a 3. That's the y value. And the x value is by the other x. And it's the opposite of what you would think. So there's a point. There's the slope. I still haven't given you the y-intercept, though. And if you would write this down on either your iPad, if you want to do it digitally, or you're going to need a pencil in a minute to do this thing, on the back of this worksheet I handed you that you're not turning over, nice job, nobody I noticed anyway, turn it over yet. Get a pencil out, you're going to need one later, and write this down. Y-intercept is, and I'm going to tell you where it is. It's kind of cryptic, but that's why why you should write it down. It flows really nice. So you'll have to think about like how to use it. So write this down, and then we'll use it. The y-intercept is where... Now you might be like, I know where it is, it's there. Nope. That's not always where the y-intercept is. The y-intercept is where x equals 0. Now on this kind of an equation, that is the y-intercept, but it's only because when you put in x equals 0, do you get it knocks out the 7, and y equals -8. So I'm going to say it again. The y-intercept is where x equals 0. One last time. The y-intercept is where x equals 0. Okay, so I'm going to go back to this equation, and I asked you for the y-intercept of it. And if you had known that the y-intercept is where x is 0, you'd put a 0 right here, and then you'd be able to figure out what y is. Y minus 3 is 4 times 0 plus 7, and 0 plus 7 is really 7, and so then 7 times 4 is 28, so y minus 3 is 28, and then what would y have to be? 31. What did I do? To find the y-intercept, I put in x equals 0. 0 plus 7? 7. 7 times 4, 28. So that whole side is 28. Then I put y minus 3 is 28. Just add 3 to both sides. Y equals 31. All right, so let's see if you've learned anything. You ready? What's the slope? Say it if you know it. 2. That's easy. Now, this will take, you can't just say it. Gotta like work it out. What's the y-intercept? No, it is not. Well, unless you can do it that fast in your head.
11.
The y-intercept is where x equals 0. So add 9 to both sides to solve it. You got 2 plus 9, 11. To get 11, raise your hand if you had 11. Okay, awesome. Now that's how to find the y-intercept. Now be smart. The y-intercept is where x equals 0. So what if I ask you for the x-intercept? Where y equals 0. Would you please figure that out? What's the x-intercept on this thing? The x-intercept is where y equals 0. -9 equals 2x plus 1. Now is the time you should distribute. -9 equals 2x plus 2. Good how I got that? Minus 2 from both sides. Divide both sides by 2. Oh, I guess it wasn't just a nice easy number in my head. That's not a -2. I was just messy. That's a 2. -11/2 would be the official way to say that. If you in your head were thinking -5.5, you were right. So I'm going to start it and you finish the sentence. The y-intercept is where x equals 0. The x-intercept is where y equals 0. There you go. Good. Now you know where the x and y-intercept are. How about a point? This red equation has a point buried in it. You don't have to like search hard to find. It's just there, and it involves a 9 and a 1, but the answer is not 9, comma 1. -1, comma 9. Very good. Okay, awesome. Now, we've already covered almost everything that you have to do today's homework. So, what the main job of today is trying to get you to learn the first 20 things. Basic 20 is pretty easy for you. That was the first thing. The harder one was where I said, here's the Schoology quiz, everybody do your best on it, and the average score was pretty bad. So we're working on that. So this is a critical day where you have to swallow your pride. if you don't know how to do something, you need to talk to the kid next to you and let them show you. If they don't know either, which is gonna happen, you have the same quiz in front of you. If they don't know how to do it either, and you both are stuck on problem 2, you're gonna raise your hand, and I'm gonna walk over there and go, here's how you do it, and you'll learn it at the same time. See, if you're working on different problems, then I come over there to teach you, I'm only getting help 1 kid. I only wanna help today when I can help 2 kids at once. You know, like sometimes the kid next to you knows how, you learn it from them. There's only one of me, and the way I'm gonna judge if this was a good day in here was, did I get to go around and help lots of groups? It's not like you're a loser if you ask me for help. No, I think it's gonna be an awesome day if you'll ask, because I know you don't know these things very well. And if you'll ask and let me help you, that's gonna be an awesome day. All right, so this quiz that you have, wait, don't turn it over yet. It's exactly like the first 20, except it's a different version. And you're gonna have a partner for it. And you're gonna work together on problem 1 until you both think you got it. If you and your partner both don't get it, please raise your hand and let me help. All right, these 2 rows, would you slide over 6 inches apart next to each other? Go ahead, slide over. These 2 rows, slide next to each other. Slide next to each other. You actually stand for a second. You're right here, so for you. This will be much easier to work next to each other. Stand up. Not until later. You can use the iPad as like a calculator if you want to. Although you won't have one on the test. Yes, begin. There is not a bonus for being first. Take your time. So for the people on the recording today, after finishing this paper version of the first 20, version 2, you can find that at algebraninja.com. We did version 2 of the first 20. There's a key there too if you're doing this alone at home. Then after that, their job is to go do a Schoology quiz. So later in this hour, they'll have finished up this first 20. And then they'll do the Schoology quiz that you'll see in the folder for today. And that's all I got for you for today.